Hello, 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 everyone. My name is Valerie Harris, and this is your Stepping Up and Stepping Out series that airs every Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. And guys, those of you that might come in later on for the replay and those that don't know me, this series is designed just for you to encourage you, to empower you, and to encourage its listeners to step up and step out of their comfort zone. And today we have a guest with us, and her name is Ayana Smith. And I want you all to give a shout out to Ayana. But I wanted to give you a little bit of information about Ayana and talk about her for a few minutes before I bring her out. Ayana is an author, speaker, and expert financial services professional, life insurance broker. So she's going to be giving us some good nuggets tonight. She has partnered with an amazing company that's providing supercharged products and services. And she currently is licensed to serve families in the areas of Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland, Ohio, Alabama. And as you can see, she has expanded across the nation and U.S. territories, and she blends her love for the financial industry with her background in education. And she does this by educating and explaining the details of the best strategies as needed to those that need financial information. And her mission is to help as many people as she can to understand how to become savvy owners of their money for short and long-term gains. And she also hosts a Money Talk series each weekly, and she shares practical and savvy strategies paired with the fundamentals of money and mindset. So this evening, and I will bring to the screen with us Ayana.
Hello. How are you, Dr.
I'm
Van?
doing good. I'm so thankful that you decided to join us today on Stepping Up and Stepping Out with Talk Time Val. So I'm so glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you. So glad to be with you, and thank you for the let's say the honor of being your guest on your show because you are stepping up and stepping out with Dr.
Look,
Val.
let
I
me tell
tell
you
you,
something. This was a stretch, baby. It was a stretch.
but you're doing it.
Yes, I'm doing the best I can. Yes.
Yes, doing a great job.
Yes, well, thank you. Well, this evening I wanted to talk about 5 essentials that we need to know about retirement. So I just want to, talk about a couple of questions because I know you're an expert in this area that you can give us some nuggets and some things to think about as far as retirement goes. So the first question is, what are some of the things that someone needs to put in place before they decide to retire from their job?
Wow, I'm glad you asked that because I was looking, you know how you look back at your notes and you're always talking about things. And oftentimes I will do you might see me do the savvy, the savvy woman and her money. And I really like to cater to, just to give a little background, I like to cater to the professional woman because there's so many professional women out here and men, but the professional woman, because we do so many things and taking care of the families and all that, that sometimes we put ourselves on the back burner and retirement comes upon us and we haven't thought about it. But the things that I would say, looking at that woman starting at like around 35 on up to 65, and now the retirement age is really almost at 70. If I could, put that out there, that we need to start thinking about having a budget and naming our money and telling our money what to do. So, you think about, you want to have a vacation fund, you want to have your college fund for your children, grandchildren, all that. You want to have that fund to think about, what's my travel fund? If you need to trick your mind and say, what's my Christmas fund? Something that you know that you'll have some liquid money that's put aside. So the first thing we need to do is think about budgets for ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
how we need to kind of put those things in place and have that money that we can get our hands on. If we're old school, I know my mama always had that drawer with some money in it, but we do need to have some money in the bank, for that big emergency time. I would say another thing, we need to think about, even as we're heading towards retirement, think about your life insurance. So we can, any points we can double back to, but think about your life insurance. other than what's on your job, and then we can really think about like the pros and cons of saving. You know, where do I need to save my money? You know, how much do I need to save in something that's long term that I may not be able to get my hands right on, and what do I need to save in something short term, what we say our liquid money, that we can go to, like Big Mama that went to the drawer to pull out and get, you know, some money, hands right on it. And then what type of retirement strategies do I need to have? Because see, here's the thing: the people who are maybe like the Gen Xers, we've been in job force for a good little while now.
Yeah.
Most of us about 20 plus years, really coming on that, and maybe a little bit longer if you started working legally, you know, working at age 16, so to speak. Whatever is on the books under our Social Security numbers banks up for our Social Security, what we get when we come out. Now, I don't want to veer off, but it's like this. Oftentimes, sometimes, you know, women will stop working to have children, and they may not have had the back in the day the FMLA and the time off and the paid time off and all that. So you will lose years because
Yeah.
you only get Social Security banked on the number of years you have on the books through the government.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's a little piece. And then the next thing I would think about, you know, are just, you know, thinking about, is it too early to start saving for myself? So those are the things. It's really that savings piece. Where am I going to save my money? Do I have a working budget right now? And what do I have for long term? So those are the things that we need to think about leading up to retirement, because as I know, and Dr. Val would know, we've been in that educational piece coming
Yes.
from, or anybody in state retirement and things of that nature. Nobody tells us where to put anything. And
Absolutely.
when we talk to people about putting stuff, they come by the job and they say, here's the book. Remember that big, thick book that reminds you of a phone book? Pick something, put your money there. You don't really know what it means: small cap, large cap, no cap. You don't know what that means. And you hope for the best. You close your eyes and you hope for the best. And when you get your statements, you're looking at, oh my God, my money has gone out the window or it's gone up, but we don't know what it is because we're not versed in the area to know. So I hope I didn't give a too long-winded of an
No, you
answer.
didn't. No, you
But
didn't. Because the thing of it is, when you were talking about the budget piece, that's the piece a lot of times people don't really do, you know, and they want to keep it
right.
in their head. But it's essential to write write it down,
Yeah. Yeah.
to keep it in our front of our eyes so that we'll know where the money is going, where we need to save, where we can pull from here. And like you said, with the emergencies, and then especially when we retire, you don't get as much money, even though you've put money in. You don't, your finances are totally different, and you have to adjust to that retirement piece.
Well, if I can interject there, Dr. Val, really what we're not told and taught is that we're supposed to adjust while we are working.
Yes.
So what happens is, if we just give a, you know, flat round number, lower number, $50,000 a year, you know that 33% of that is going to be taken out for taxes.
Yes.
So on contract, you may make $50,000, but you are only bringing home 2/3 of that.
Two
So,
thirds.
okay, you only bring home 2/3, and then basically, if you're going to run concurrently, I saw like 31 years as a teacher running
Yes.
concurrently, then you need to probably take 20% of what your net is and put it in something to start making some money. But then comes the what. What do I put it in?
Right.
And is it going to make me enough money? And if it, and I will say this, if it is going in your 401ks, 403bs, your 457s, and things like that, though those numbers and letters only signify what your job title is, meaning this: 403b, service workers, teachers, the educators, the healthcare workers, they fall under 403b. 401k is your private sector. 457 can be either or. But here's the thing: it's just an identifier to let Uncle Sam know what you do as a profession.
Yes.
The money is in the same stock market because there's only one stock market.
Yes.
So when the stock market goes up, if you have it in the right type of fund, your money will go up. If you don't, your money will go down. But
Go down. Say it again. It'll go down.
it will go down. And here's the thing. This is what, like I said, my background, education for 150 years. I always have people laughing at me when I say that. But I remember asking an old administrator I said, well, look, where do you put your money? And they said, well, I put my money in the, the 403B, and I just ride it out. Okay, that's all well and good, but you can't ride out if you're coming to the end of your retirement years and you have a big dip in the stock market and then 40% of your money is gone. I had some friends that happened to, and they
Yes.
worked in the postal arena, postal service arena, still the same stock market, but they had a TSP, thrift savings plan, which is military civil service people. They lost 40% of their money, and they were at retirement time and was coming out. They didn't have another 20-25 years to ride anything out. You can't recover what you have lost like that. It's really hard. So that's why I go back and say you have to learn how to save concurrently while you're working. Yes, the 33% is going to Uncle Sam, yes, and you bring home your net, but then out of your net, you have to then cut that pie down some more and save in a vehicle that is going to work. And that's where I come in. I focus on the long-term strategies like the life insurance that would allow you to make money and that are safe, but you put your money in over time, as you are also having a death benefit if you were to pass away too early.
Right.
But you have money that you can place into that vehicle and that strategy of long-term life insurance, which is whole life or index universal life, that will grow money over time. So by the time you get to that 31st year, you will have money, in there that allows you to pull out without you getting penalized, becoming your own bank type of becoming that's a simple way of putting it. You can become your own bank and take from yourself instead of having to then go and borrow more and all that, because we will, as you said, Dr. Val, come out with less money than what we are making as our current job will give us.
Yes. That's good stuff right there. I hope it's going to bless somebody and help somebody as far as that's concerned. So what retirement strategy do you feel is the most important for those who are about to retire?
Well, one thing, start looking at, if you can, some people have multiple, but multiple have had multiple jobs where they have put away retirement strategies, throughout. So you may find yourself with one or two jobs that you've had, and that you had a 403B or 457 or TSP or whatever. You can look at combining those retirements and see if you can qualify for an annuity. See if that would be an option for you, so that you won't get hit completely with your taxes. Because here's the thing, the money that's put away in your retirement system as you're working is not taxed, but it's sitting there. It's sitting there, waiting for you, but making interest for them. And I'm gonna go
say it like it is. Tell it like it is.
It makes the interest for them. And then, you get your allotment. But here's the thing, because that allotment was not taxed, you now are looking at your retirement like it's still a W-2. And the retirement is going to be taxed. And that is a shocker, because I had some of my boomers, my baby boomers that came out and retired, and they were like, well, why is my check being taxed? Because nobody had explained that your money was not taxed prior to being taken out, and now you're getting it as income, and anything that's taxed is it that serves as income will be taxed.
Yes.
So that's a shocker too. And I would say, as you head into what retirement, I didn't write this one down, but it just hit me. Seek a tax professional, not just, someone that you can just, I'm not knocking when you can kind of drop your stuff off, but you might want to think about a person who has that kind of CPA knowledge to really guide you, and that they really focus on retirement and how those numbers are looking, because the tax codes change and you want to be up on that. And so they can give you some depiction on your previous tax returns and how they may be looking with your upcoming retirement. So, and how that will look. Yeah.
And the thing of it is, we need tax advisors.
Yes.
Because they're the ones that will call us in and look at our portfolio to see what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. And definitely when you about to retire, you can't be coming out of retirement with a bunch of bills.
That's my whole thing. It's a I wish I had the picture, and this is where having we could sit and talk for a complimentary consultation, because there is a thing, and you can look it up. If you look up, it's called the X curve, and basically what that is when you start younger, you have you don't really have anything, but so you're building your stuff. So that's when you get in debt, you buy your homes and cars and all that. But then there's a point in time that as you continue to grow, we say hypothetically, or we would like it to be in the flesh, our salaries are supposed to increase, but then we're supposed to be, as I said, saving at the same time and decreasing our debt, so that when we finish in our retirement years, we don't have car notes and house notes and things of that nature. So therefore, we wouldn't need as much to live on. That's the ideal thing. And so the X curve is supposed to, blend very, very fluidly. But oftentimes our X curves end up still, we're on the high end of owing instead of owning outright. And now we're looking at saying, well, I'm tired of working, but our money is not matching our stuff.
It don't match.
It's not matching. So that's the tough part, and therefore we have to keep working. Also, another thing when you think about retirement, Dr. Val, like I said earlier, the number for retirement age is getting paced further and further out. So like right now, I think it's like 67. They say you are at the maturity to retire, but it's going out because think about this. And I want to put this out here. There are less people as time has gone on, especially in the pandemic, when people, lost jobs and things of that nature. A lot of people started businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start businesses, nothing wrong with it, because we got to have them. Business owner myself. But the thing is, the less W-2 workers we have, and the more entrepreneurs we have, the less people we have paying into the W-2 retirement system. Does that make sense? Okay.
It makes a lot of sense.
So you think about when you get money taken out of your check, if you were still a W-2 worker, you get money taken out of your check, you see your taxes and you see FICA and you see all these other letters. Yep. Well, you see your Social Security taken out. That Social Security is not, which I used to think, oh my goodness, was I really shaken? I used to think that it was going into an account for me. No, it was funding the upcoming retirees.
Exactly.
So back in the day, there were 10 people working to one retiree, therefore they had the money. Now that number has shifted where it's maybe 1 to 2 people funding a retiree, but there are more retirees and less people in W-2.
Absolutely.
Because there are a lot of people doing ride shares, just starting their own businesses, making it, building the American dream. And nothing wrong with it. We have to do it because we have to become our own economy. And and being an entrepreneur is a way to do it.
Yes. And another thing we're seeing too is in that shift, you have a lot of people that don't want to work no more.
Well, Dr. Val, I know you're a woman of faith. Don't work, don't eat.
Don't eat.
That's how that thing. I mean, faith without works is dead. You have to work still, but even in that, find what you're passionate about, because
it's work out here.
You're the answer to somebody's question.
Yes.
You're the answer to somebody's need. You're the answer to somebody's problem. So that's your entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
that is. But we just can't sit and do anything. But you're right. It's getting kind of interesting out here where I see that restaurants and places can only provide walk-in service because there's nobody to serve the dining room. There are different things going on, which has been a big shift. But it is still room for us to work. So as the retiree, I will put this in. As a retiree, you may still feel good. think about trying to, as you're winding down from what you're doing and you have put your time in, think about the things that you do well. For example, if you are, an educator, if you are, say, minister, whatever you do well, you still work with children or what have you, figure out a way to go on the consulting side and be paid for your intellectual property. I mean, figure out how to, whatever you bake cakes, figure out how to do something that is still going to fulfill you and help you to make money, because what fulfills you will pay you.
Absolutely. I love this. This is good information that we need to know. So how do you go about choosing the best living benefits and long-term care options for qualified individuals? Because a lot of times that's been a problem with people as they get older, they own property, they get sick, and then it sucks out everything that they have because
Yes.
they did not take the property out of their name in time. So they'll either lose it or it's a whole lot of costs, and all of what they get goes to living.
Correct. Well, the thing is to start early. So if they're, if the listeners are saying, well, I'm at an older age now and the insurances will be higher for me, which they will. I would say, as a licensed professional, after age 50, the insurance does go up. It really does. Because, when you look at it, we're not rushing anybody away, but it is looking at, we have less years, in front of us than we do behind us. So that's just that formula. But here's the thing: if you have children and grandchildren, let me tell you how you got to set this thing up so you can kind of work, reverse engineer it.
Yeah, because we need to know. People need to know.
Start your policies now. And I'm not talking about, $2-3. No, put some money into it, and that money by default will compound. It just will, because it's sitting there. When you're in your 20s and your 30s, family members in 20s and 30s, they need to get the living benefits policies now, long-term care now. So this will be the things that will just go along, because we don't even know when we'll get sick. It's not always somebody old getting sick. We can have an accident and then we can't walk and we can't bathe or toilet ourselves. That's where those living benefits will kick in, and we don't think about it because we're young, we're good, we're not gonna, nothing's gonna happen.
You never know what'll happen.
You don't know, but it's better to get these things while you're healthy. So let me just say this: health is a concern. Make sure that you get these policies and stuff while you're healthy, and then and then it's there, because just say, God forbid, you did get diagnosed with cancer, a heart attack, or stroke, or anything like that. If you already have these policies with living benefits, long-term care in place, then they're there. And those are the policies that will cover, especially our middle class working people, because like Dr. Val said, once you get to a certain age, you own a home, things have not been moved out of your name. They do that look back of 5 years. If the property still been in your name, you can't get anything. You get your when you make a certain amount, you get Medicare. And then it's not Medicaid. And if you still owning properties and things like that, this is where it's important to have the long-term care and the living benefits already in place. So then that money will be there for you to disperse and pay for the care you need, and you not get kicked out because the health insurance only lasted for 14 days when you needed 28 days to rehabilitate. So that's the prep part right there. It's like, if we have the things that we sometimes don't think we need in place, we can still have our properties and it not even be touched, because we had our living benefits and our long-term care policies in order when we were younger, and now the money is there for us if we need it.
Yes, that's good. That's good. That's something powerful that younger people need to really look at and take care of that, and have that on their vision board, or something that they need to make sure they stay in tune with the things that they need to do, so that if something like that happens, they'll know exactly what to do.
Yeah. It's basically like you said, a vision board. I will have my financial and my health goals intact. I'll have life insurance outside of, and like I said, it's different types, and everybody's situation is different and specific. But there are different types of insurances that will cover you and protect you, but you have to know what you have. And oftentimes things on our jobs will not cut it because they're not equipped. It's not that type of vehicle or strategy that will cover you like you can get coverage for yourself on yourself personally, you making the contract between you and the insurance company, not between the job and you. It's not going to work.
Absolutely.
That's group. That's a group insurance. Most time, that's where they position that, and we don't understand it because I didn't understand it. So I'm not fussing at.
None of us understood it because we were not taught that information.
And when I learned, I said, "Is this? Oh, wow!"
Yes.
Yeah.
So how would an entrepreneur go about making and saving money, not only in a tax-free manner, but infinitely?
There again, we can do it a few ways. Of course, building your portfolio to, of course, include your short-term things. Have your savings, yes, but ultimately, for a business owner, it would be great to when you make enough revenue to then go back and set yourself up on payroll. So that you are getting a certain amount allocated, and then for tax purposes, everything is being taken care of. So you set yourself up as if you were an employee to your business, so that appropriate taxes are taken out, and that you'll be able to take out money to allocate for your retirement strategies and all of that. So, and then the infinite part, we look at what I like to talk about, the term, the infinite banking. There again, that's through the vehicle of life insurance, and it's a whole life strategy that you're able to put your money in and become a bank unto yourself. So those are the things that really would help an entrepreneur. If you fully have to look at yourself and end up treating yourself like, your business is a corporation and you are the employee, so that you can transition your mind back to, I used to get a check that took things out. Now I do that now for myself, but I know ultimately I am the business.
Yes, I love it. Well, I want to thank you for coming out here to explain these the things that people need to know when they're really way before they retire. These are things that need to be in the back of your mind. The planning piece needs to be there. It needs to be written so that you can keep a conscious mind of those things, because no one never knows when you'll get sick and you need to put something in place. And if you haven't did any planning or anything of that nature, it can break you, where you will come out having nothing. You know what I mean? And that has happened to so many people, that something like that came up and it just drained everything that they had, because we just don't know. So prayerfully, we have to be in prayer to know that God has us. He is our provider, but we still have to have a sense enough to go and do some of the things to protect ourselves, protect our families, our spouses, our wives. So there are things that we do need to put in place. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Val, I'd love to talk and share what I do know with anyone in your listening audience. Connect with me. You see my website flowing at the bottom of the screen. www.
Tell them how they can get in contact with you. And I'm going to put it in the chat as well.
Yes, ma'am. www.askayana and that .com, and that will connect you to my calendar, to all social media outlets, and all of that. And if all else fails, you just can't figure it out, connect with Dr. Val, because she can find me.
I can find her, y'all. If y'all can't find her, I will get in touch so that you can, contact her and meet with her.
Yeah. So
thank you so much, darling. It was wonderful having you out here.
Thank you again for having me. I appreciate you.
I love you, girl.
Thank you. Love you too.
All right. See you in a few. Well, guys, that's all we have tonight. Talk Time Val is about to sign out. But before I sign out, guys, I will be doing a free webinar on Friday, the 30th at 12 o'clock. So make sure you sign up for the free webinar that I'm going to have. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of information given out to you. And guys, I'm about to sign out, but I tell you all every week, go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And guys, I'm learning how to set that YouTube channel up, but go out there and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You all know how to get in contact with me on my website if you want to set up a meet and greet on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and I will be glad to talk to you if you need to know anything about unlocking your hidden potential or anything that you are struggling with. You know you can get in touch with Talk Time Val. So it was great being out here with you, and I will be talking to you a little bit later. And give a shout out to Ayana because she gave us a lot of gold nuggets tonight. So make sure you give a shout out to her, thanking her for coming up here and being with us on the show this evening. I will be talking to you all a little bit later.